Inside, CC Summer, the 95-meter Lurssen that turns summer into a power move. Picture peak season in the south of France. The bay is packed with serious yachts, music rolling over the water, toys everywhere. Then a 95-meter Lurssen slides in, and everything else suddenly looks like the warm-up act. A 12-meter pool glows on deck. A helipad sits casually on the bow, and the whole profile quietly says, "This is what vacation looks like when money stopped being the main question a long time ago." Welcome back to Luxury Living Detective. Today, we're stepping on board CC Summer, a 95-meter super yacht delivered by Lurssen in 2019, originally launched as Madsummer. She's part floating resort, part design object, and part billionaire calling card, spending her time between the Mediterranean and the Caribbean like those two legendary playgrounds are just different sides of the same backyard. On paper, CC Summer lives in small ship territory, not big boat land. She's about 95 meters long, roughly 312 feet, with a beam around 14 meters and a draft just under 4 meters. Her volume is a little over 3,000 gross tons. For 12 guests, that is a ridiculous amount of space. The whole point is that a lot of this yacht is air, light, and empty room to breathe. She's built by Lurssen with a steel displacement hull, aluminium superstructure, and teak decks. Exterior design is by Harrison Eidsgaard. Long, clean lines, stretched glass, layered decks, and a profile that looks powerful without trying to be a spaceship. It's modern enough to turn heads in any harbor, but calm enough that it will still look right 10 or 20 years from now. Inside, Italian designer Laura Sessa walked away from the safe beige playbook and went colorful. Each guest cabin has its own palette: deep blues, soft greens, coral tones, crisp whites, paired with art and custom furniture. You can recognize CC Summer's interior in a single frame, which is rare in a world where a lot of yachts look like the same hotel lobby copied over and over. Accommodation is set up for up to 12 guests in 10 suites, with a full beam master on the upper deck that has 180-degree views and a private terrace, plus several VIP cabins and flexible doubles and twins. Around 28 crew keep the whole thing running and make sure guests barely notice how much work is happening behind the scenes. Underneath the teak and artwork, CC Summer is all business. Power comes from twin MTU diesel engines in the 3,400 horsepower range, giving her a top speed of about 18 knots. For a 95-meter, 3,000-plus-ton steel yacht with a pool, spa, and helipad on board, that is a serious number. Her real sweet spot is a cruising band around 12 to 16 knots, where she feels relaxed and efficient instead of rushed. At those speeds, she can stretch to roughly 6,000 nautical miles on a full set of tanks. In practical terms, that means crossing the Atlantic in comfort, spending a season in the Caribbean, and heading back to the Med without living at the fuel dock. Stabilizers work underway and at anchor, ironing out the motion so the experience feels more like a slow-moving penthouse than a traditional ship. Coffee stays in the cup, champagne stays in the glass, and even people who don't like boats suddenly decide yachts might not be so bad. The outside heart of CC Summer is the main deck pool. A 12-meter swimming pool fills the stern, wrapped in sun pads and relaxed lounge seating. During the day, it's the social center of the yacht. Kids in the water, adults stretched out with drinks, music low and crew running a constant loop of towels and trays. At night, with the pool lit and the coastline glowing in the background, that same space becomes a private beach club that follows you from bay to bay. Step through the glass doors and you enter a bright, colorful saloon where the interior really shows its personality. Sofas and armchairs are grouped into conversation pockets. Art and color keep the room alive, and full-height windows pull the sea right into the space. One deck up, another lounge blends a proper bar with a grand piano, setting the stage for cocktail hour, live music, or a quiet late-night drink, while the yacht slides silently to the next anchorage. The master suite feels like its own apartment. Full beam, king bed facing the sea, big dressing areas, a spa-style bathroom, and, best of all, a private terrace with its own jacuzzi. A simple morning turns into robe, sunrise, hot tub, and breakfast, magically appearing a few steps away. Guest cabins follow the same philosophy on a slightly smaller scale. Strong colors, ensuite bathrooms, big windows where possible, and built-in entertainment, so nobody feels like they drew the short straw room. Lower down, you'll find a spa with massage and hammam, a real gym with sea views, a cinema-style space for movie nights, and a beach club at water level where you step straight onto the platform to swim or launch toys. Two quiet details make everyday life easier: an elevator connecting the decks, and that forward helipad. The elevator keeps stairs from becoming a workout for older guests, kids, or anyone in heels, while the helipad does the opposite of subtle. Arriving by helicopter and walking straight into a Lurssen interior is the kind of statement no caption can improve. Boiled down to the essentials, CC Summer is a 95-meter Lurssen from 2019, about 14 meters wide, close to 4 meters of draft, and a bit over 3,000 gross tons. She has a steel hull, aluminium superstructure, teak decks, twin MTU diesels, a top speed around 18 knots, an easy cruising band in the low to mid-teens, and a long-range figure near 6,000 nautical miles. She sleeps 12 guests in 10 suites and runs with roughly 28 crew, which is exactly why the service feels closer to a private hotel than a typical charter. Money-wise, she lives in the deep end of the pool. Industry estimates put CC Summer's value around $250 million. And in the super yacht world, there's a very simple rule of thumb. Expect to spend about 10% of a yacht's value every year just to keep it running. Apply that to CC Summer, and you're staring at something like $25 million a year in operating costs. Crew, fuel, port fees, insurance, yard time, new paint, endless maintenance, and the soft luxuries most guests never see on a bill. Then there's the charter rate. CC Summer sits near the top of the global charter market, with public rates around 1.5 to 1.6 million euros per week, plus expenses. Once you convert that into US dollars and add fuel, food, dockage, taxes, and tips, a single 7-day charter comfortably drifts past the $2 million mark. 1 week on board equals a very respectable house in a lot of American cities. And that's before you open the wine list. In the global fleet, CC Summer doesn't try to beat giants like Azam or Eclipse on sheer length. Instead, she occupies the 90 to 100 meter bracket that many owners quietly consider the sweet spot. Big enough for a real pool, spa, beach club, helipad, and huge interior volume, still small enough to slide into the classic bays and marinas of the Med and Caribbean without turning every arrival into a logistical drama. What really sets her apart, in my view, is attitude. Many yachts this size play it ultra-neutral, so nobody is offended. Lots of beige, lots of safe choices. CC Summer leans into color, art, and energy. She looks like a place where people actually live on board, laugh, throw parties, and jump off the stern, not just pose on the aft deck for one photo and fly home the next morning. Now I want to hear from you. If someone handed you a fully paid week on CC Summer, where would you take her first, and who would you bring on board? Drop your answer in the comments and help shape which yachts, jets, and mega mansions we explore next on Luxury Living Detective. If this breakdown fired up your luxury daydreams, hit like, subscribe with notifications on, and consider joining the channel or using Super Thanks to help us keep diving into the wildest corners of ultra-rich living.